Hello, everybody. Can you guys hear me? This is Dark Devin speaking. Can you guys hear me? And also, just in fact, if you guys can hear me, let me know, by the way, in the chats, for those who want to say to respond exactly, then go ahead and subscribe to my horror channel. That's right. Go on ahead and subscribe. So, those again, by the way, is that we're back with another live stream. But this time, it's going to be more likely hanging out with me. Exactly. Come and hang out with me. Yours truly, Dark Devin speaking. So, if you guys can hear me, I'll try at least turn off the mic and turn on the mic. So, give me a second while I do that in 5 seconds anyway. So, let me go ahead and count it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Alright, so I definitely did turn on the mic and off, and I think we're doing pretty good. At least. Hopefully, I guess. Just hopefully. As long as the live stream does good and performs pretty better, then I hope so. So, anyways, as I told you guys again, that I am Dark Devin, the most evil of all of powerful of lords here. That's pretty much my that's pretty much my motto. For those who might not know about that, it means I am very evil and the powerful of most of the lords, which I claim to be the powerful of all of lords, which I mean it only means that I am above the lords. But for now, let's just say that we're going to be here to enjoy this one internet live stream. So, for those who might want to join in, feel free to join in this live stream. And yes, you're definitely free to join in this live stream as long as you may please. And also, just remember this, by the way, is if you side with heroes or villains, it means you're against us. But remember, if you guys like the horror killers, or creepypastas, or twisted animatronics, it means that you'll be able to be siding with us. So, that's all I can say, is if you're a new person to this horror channel, then go ahead and subscribe, that big red button, so that way you don't miss out on many horror stuff on this horror channel. So yeah, that's pretty much my convincing argument that I myself am Dark Devin speaking. So for those who want to call me by my own name, just call me Dark and Devin. So just be sure to call me that if you want to, but feel free to say anything in the chats anytime. Just feel free to say anything. And I would definitely consider going ahead and check out the chats. So, anyway, feel free to go ahead and check. Oh, the person says, ever see my bloody Valentine? Oh, this is going to be an interesting chat right here. Well, welcome TAT Writer. Congratulations for appearing on the stream, by the way. Congrats. And ever see your bloody Valentine? Well, that's an interesting quote. Or maybe was that just from a different movie? But either way, still, congratulations for coming right in. So, for those who want to ask me the questions, then I'll be sure to go ahead and answer them for you. You know, if you guys want to go ahead and say anything in the chat. Like, I mean, you guys can talk about movies, horror movies, or whatever exactly. Then yeah, I hope so. In the movie. Oh yeah, I was right. I was definitely right. Yep, congrats. I was totally right on that one, which, I was about to kind of mistake in that answer, but at least I got the correction right. But yeah, thank you very much, by the way. TAT Writer. Thank you very much. Thank you. So, anyways, Yeah, if you guys want to go ahead and say anything in the chat, feel free to say anything. Consider about like talking about anything in the chat, which, we can do a fun bit of like questions or whatever, but as long as we continue a lot more questions, then it means that we'll continue. All right, so the next one says came out around the same time as Terror Train. Ooh, Terror Train. Man, speaking my language is my mono language. Yes, sorry, it's a little bit of a funny joke, but still. Yeah, Terror Train, huh? Well, I never heard of Terror Train for a while, but guess I gotta say is damn, terror train. Imagine being frightened by a terror train right on the train of the tracks. Man, that is crazy. Like, I never heard of that before for a long time. It is like literally terror train. Very positively interesting. Very interesting. Never heard of Terror Train, but I may as well take a look at it. And also, the fact is how funny I find the word Terror Train is just interesting. Oh, what we got here is Jimmy Lee Curtis was in it. Oh, okay, I see. Nice. That's cool. That's awesome. Congrats. That's awesome for the person that was in it. Nice. Well, that was interesting. But also, I never even get to heard of like more likely about who was the killer and who was the survivor. But that is a very interesting tale. That is very interesting. And say, when did Terror Train actually came out on its release date? Did it came out like in the 20s, of like 2020s, 2000 teens, 2000s, 19s? Well, you just have to let me know because I'd never even heard of that before. Terror Train, I will be able to get to take a look at it if I will be able to look at it soon. But anyways, good question. Very good question. Anyway, for now exactly. Um well, I was going to think of something that I was going to say. Oh, early 90s. Nice. All right. All right. Early 90s. That's always been a perfect time about that. That is like very incredibly interesting about the early 80s. Nice. Well, very well done, but very impressively well done. But, anyways, yeah, very interesting. I like it. Very interesting of the date. Nice. And, anyways, so as I was going to go ahead and say right here, was that, just for a very good hangout session a little bit in this live stream, is that if you guys want to still give me a Q&A questions or like that, or anything like it, or anything, whatever that will be, then let me know in the chat. Since the only thing I can say right now is that, well, for me, I have to say that, well, earlier today, I was just minding my own business, and I decided, was like, you know what, maybe I'm just going to start this live stream anyways in this horror channel. So that's probably why I even started this live stream. So that's a very good question today. Very good question. All right. So, anyways, for what I have to say at least, just gonna have to think of something if I can. Well, the only thing I was going to think about something was that I was thinking about making the YouTube shorts, which is obviously just going to be YouTube shorts anyway, since, well, obviously, well, I was going to think of a video plan here, but I guess that the only thing I can say right now is that, maybe I'm just going to do YouTube shorts. Just figure out something to do and just like do what I have to do at least. Just do whatever I need to do. But anyway, the only thing I've been kind of thinking about is pranks. Oh yeah, I meant to say was about like something about very clever about the prank video stuff that I was gonna kind of think about. Was that I was definitely gonna be thinking about here was that originally that I was going to kind of think about was with like, oh, with the horror killers, creepy pastas, twisted animatronics. Well, usually I was going to think about actually condoming and thinking about was going to be doing a YouTube short that was going to consider a prank. But unfortunately, I guess it's going to be a little bit complicated to do a YouTube short for that. But as long as the YouTube short does pretty well, then who knows? Like, who really knows again how funny that's going to be? Ha 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 ha. Which, I mean, just for something evilly fun, just for something evilly fun, for doing whatever it's going to probably be, is like prank stuff or whatever, but just typical horror stuff. That's just like whatever that will be. And also, I definitely appreciate the person for coming into the live stream that was known to be is TAT Ryder. I definitely appreciate the guy who was in the live stream. So yes, as I will definitely go on ahead and consider adding the person as a moderator, which also means I'm going to add the person into standard moderator. There we go. You're now officially a moderator. Definitely official. But anyways, as I can say anyways of right now that I was mentioning about pranks. Well, the only thing I was mentioning about that was I think there's gonna be like an interesting update for the shorts of being like considering YouTube shorts, by the way. Like let's just say for an example that one of the horror killers that was like Michael Myers and Chucky were playing a prank on each other. And so far, Michael Myers threw a pie at Chucky's face. Like, seriously. It would have been pretty funny, exactly, but just with related horror stuff, exactly as per usual. But yeah, it kind of would probably be a bit funny. But even though it is not a circus, it probably would have been a little bit funny just to see if the other characters were laughing to that. But yeah, as I say again, otherwise, that I hope the YouTube shorts are going to do pretty impressive while that happens. So, anyways, as of right now, is that let's just say that hopefully the YouTube shorts get a pretty good, impressive amount of good ways. That the only thing I was kind of thinking about here was that so far about how many characters are doing, well, they're normally doing pretty good so far. They're doing pretty good. And oh yes, speaking of pretty good, was I think I have to say exactly is that I think things are going pretty well so far. Just basically in the horror universe of our horror universe. That is in my universe. So as of me right now, that I've actually been thinking pretty smart over the couple of days a little bit, just hanging out with DevinFoxy.exe lately. And oh yeah, he's been pretty helpful. He's been pretty helpful lately. He's been very helpful. And also, for those who don't know of DevinFoxy.exe, well, let me tell you guys the story is that, well, let's just say that by the way, somehow, like I said, definitely was using a power source from like letting Sonic.exe use like the exe virus to kind of like send out the other version of him, but more likely an exe related version of his face. But the eyes are pretty scary, and the related look has always been that way. So as I can say otherwise, that DevinFoxy.exe has been doing pretty well lately. And oh, before anybody does ask what he looks like, well, the only thing what he actually looks like was that he had some red blood around his eye patch, which was kind of near on the bottom low on the eye patch. Which yes, it did kind of look like that. And also his eyebrows, by the way, was like pretty much in a mad smiling face. That his face actually was pretty much likely to be is a smiley evil face. Just for an example, by having like the eyebrows being turned down, by the way, and was pretty much being evil as usual. And oh yes, about the eye, by the way, just want to let you know what the eye looked like exactly. Let's just say what his eye looked like of DevinFoxy.exe. Let's just say what his eye looked like. That, well, he had a purple eye, for an example. For something very spooky. For something very different for once that aren't about red. It was about a different color thing. That, I think DevinFoxy.exe had purple eyes. Had like a purple eyes, exactly that was like, oh, the one eye that was purple, but the eye patch was clearly being closed since, well, there were like no other separate version looks without the eye patch or with the eye patch. So all I can tell you guys already that DarrenFoxy.exe has been doing pretty interesting so far. And yes, it may look like him with the red shirt and hair, but it may look like pretty different except the eye, though. Except the eye exactly is a little bit more scarier and different than regular eyes exactly. So, anyway, so far for how he's been doing all these years, let's just say that he's been hanging out with me lately for quite some time now. Since, well, for me, I might have to go after his golden version, which I don't know why, but I think his golden version was pretty much already been completed exactly. But there is a golden version of, pretty much from both versions of DarrenFoxy.exe, but more intimidating. Just more intimidating, but more different. Like, very exe like. Yeah, very exe like. Very much exe. So, as I can say about Golden Darren Foxy EXE, by the way, let's just say that I would have to pretty much use a tranquilizer to use something like a different power that usually that DarrenFoxy.exe and Golden DarrenFoxy.exe will pretty much both have like different powers. Like, just for example, like teleporting or shapeshifting, they may stay like the same person, but they might shapeshift. Just try to actually have different elements. But for now, exactly, I might try that later to kind of figure it out for myself. Even though that Sonic.exe hasn't given me a manual yet, which of course he didn't even give me a manual, so I'm just gonna call him out here like saying is this. Hey Sonic.exe, where's the freaking manual? Oh, I don't know. What do you think you're talking about? I was talking about the dang manual, idiot. First on, don't call me an idiot. I was gonna try to find the manual anyways, but good question for knowing to tell me about that just now. Well, you're welcome, Sonic.exe. Yeah, whatever. You're totally welcome. I'll go ahead and find it. Anyway, so that was pretty much me telling Sonic.exe to find the manual, just to find something like with a different tranquilizer to kind of use something like two elements that, of course, that one of them will definitely know how to shapeshift. Like, of course, they'll probably be the same person, obviously, that DarrenFoxy.exe and GoldenDarrenFoxy.exe are most likely going to stay as the same person, but more likely know how to shapeshift. It might know how to probably like go from back to back, back to red, back to yellow. It's gonna be like a back to almost likely the whole time. Literally all the time, but not almost, but all the time exactly. So there's your guys' questions, and there's your guys' answers for right now in that main category of the question. So, anyways, if you guys have any questions, then feel free to say anything in the chat, since we'll probably stay here a little longer before we definitely sign out anyway. So, as I can say, that the YouTube shorts are still going to happen, which of course we're going to have to get like more YouTube short stuff out, by the way, which even though it may not sound the same with YouTube videos, but at least it's the only thing we kind of got right now is kind of making YouTube shorts for a bit, which means that we might actually do something pretty good, but a bit useful. Just a bit useful, but a bit entertaining. So, as I can say otherwise, if you guys enjoy this live stream, remember is give this video a like and comment and subscribe and hit the bell to be notified so that way you won't miss a single dang video that comes into this channel, period. So, if you want to see more, then that would be amazing and that would be appreciated. So, as of right now, everybody, well, it's going to probably be a while to be in the live stream, so it's going to probably be that for a time for a while. Anyway, speaking about that now, is I was playing something more interesting. Like, for example, that the horror killers, let's just say for gaming, I think gaming's been a long time for the characters to do that. Well, normally, since they've actually played gaming for a while back now, since I think that was like a long time. Very distantly a long time. So, yes, it has been quite some time now, and it's been quite some time for a while for them to play gaming for now. But there is going to be something very good for once that I think we might do gaming, however, in most occasions, as we can see. But for that time now, we'll just have to see where the main thing is going to go and where all this is going to lead now. But yes, main question is more gaming will come back soon, eventually, on this horror channel. Even though that on this horror channel that we might constantly bring back the gaming stuff anyway. But as long as we bring back a lot of good stuff, then yes, we're definitely going to bring that back. And also, as from earlier, of the chat, by the way, earlier, is that yes, I'll definitely be sure to check out Terror Train back in the 80s, by the way, to kind of take a look. And also, I might try to be able to know who the killer was, or even, in fact, who the survivor was. I mean, the survivor I've not even heard of, which I didn't even heard about the survivor about Terror Train. Like, survivor, I don't know who it was. I don't know if it was a man, or I don't know if it was a woman in there, but that's a very good, interesting, honest question that I never even heard of Terror Train, but I may get to watch it, to see if I may take a look at it. But good question as always. As from the person that told me about it, so yeah, I totally would like to check that out and totally would love to see it. So as of now, exactly. Hopefully it's a horror movie, which I pretty much would hope so, I guess. But for now, exactly. Terror Train. For those who might have watched it, well, let me know again in the chat or in the comments about that question about Terror Train. But for me, I've not seen it, but I may look at it and might take a look at it to see how awesome it actually does. But as I can say right now that I'm about to go ahead and sign right off. So remember this, is give this video a like and comment and subscribe and hit the bell to be notified so that way that you don't miss a single video that comes straight onto this channel. And don't forget, by the way, if you want to see more new videos, go ahead and check out the YouTube shorts. That will probably be sure to add more YouTube shorts pretty much near likely today or whatever that's going to probably be. So if you guys want to see more YouTube shorts, then there's going to probably be a lot more good stuff about that too. So anyways, it is time, and it definitely is time to definitely get going. So, as of now, that I am Dark Devin, and I will see you guys as always in the next video. And don't forget, however, that even though that there probably might be a way to say is this question is, how long are we going to get back to making videos? Well, you may ask me this question, and you may ask, is when are we going to get back to that? The main question is, once we do get back to that, it actually means that us horror killers or creepypastas will actually be able to kind of get to that, since basically at the point of all of that, that's going to be a little bit complicated. That's going to be a little bit different. But I do hope again that we might come back for more videos and a lot more stuff happening. So if there probably will be a possibility to see what that could happen, then yes, there probably will be a video that I will hopefully will know that there will be a good time to see what happens. But in further details, we're just going to have to find out and see anyways. But for now, Dark Devin speaking, and I will say is this. I'll see you guys absolutely in the next video. Signing right on out. Yes, and goodbye, everybody. The Lord, exactly. Or should I say, I am Dark Devin, the most evil of all the lords here, is definitely speaking. So, as I can say, anyways, if you guys like horror killers this much, by the way, just want to let you guys know if you guys like horror killers, then heroes or villains, then go on ahead and automatically subscribe this channel for real. So, anyways, see you guys again for the next video. Goodbye for now, and signing right off.